Hi, folks, and welcome to another Sunday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt. I'm all by myself. This is the final run of Choose Your Own Samoflange. Benjamin's not with me. He could not make it our only day to record, or my only day to record. I've got big stuff coming up, so we had to do these really quick. Because we didn't want to lose the momentum of, we've been doing these almost back-to-back or a few days in between just so we won't lose the mojo. Also, this book is due back soon, and I don't want to check it out again. So by the next time we get together, it'd be, I'd say about a month and a half before I'd have some more availability because I'm going to get really busy here in the next couple of weeks. So I thought I'd go ahead and finish it myself. Plus, it gives me some time to read. I've always wanted to read. There's not that many choices we haven't picked. And at first, I did think about just like, you know what? Let's just chuck it. Let's just move on because we got most of it. But no, I'm curious. So I want to keep going. So where we stopped, one of our last decisions was on page 113. We're on the boat. If anyone recalls that, we tried to escape the boat. That's where we went. This time, I'm going to pick page 123, which says, if you hide underneath the dock, and see what happens there. So here's what happens if we hide underneath the dock. The old wooden dock offers a little protection. Footsteps thud overhead. And soon you find yourself looking into the menacing eyes of Mark. He and Jose lead the way to imprison you in the storage room of a Paswan facility. When news of your defeat reaches the Congress, the will of the Lycunians to survive the free life forms seems to die. The evil Power Master terrifies the system, forcing his demands until all the planets capitulate. The evil Power Master rules supreme. You are long since dead, but a pile of your old musty bones in a forgotten research facility still tells the tale of one who fought in vain against the evil Power Master. And there's a big picture of our bones near a dock. Well, dodge that bullet there. So that marks off one. This may be quicker than I remember. Folks, our second run, one of our choices we did not pick was on page 5. On page 5, the choice we did pick was if you decide to check the central computer service in hopes of locating the other base and main headquarters of the evil Power Master, which turned out to be a pretty darn good decision. We went with that one. But the next one was if you decide to wait where you are on the chance that someone will return. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Never going to do that. But this time, hey, through the magic of Choose Your Own Adventure, let's do it, shall we? It says, we'll wait here, Tara says. If the room is stifling hot, like my room is right now, because we have a heat wave. At the time this is being filmed, folks, just spoilers here, we're filming these very early in advance. It's February, and it's friggin' 80 degrees. I'm not even making that up. Anyway, you begin to take notice of the profusion of tropical plants in the room. It's odd you haven't noticed them from earlier. Bamboo vines, palms, and jungle of the jungle occupies nearly half of the space. A strange drowsiness overcomes you, and you slump down against the wall. Tara seems tired too. Slowly, from out of the jumbled mass of vegetation, a pair of creatures emerge. They look like a cross between a lizard and a sloth. In slow movements, they approach the two of you. One of the creatures moves to the computer and types in a message. We will neutralize enemy, awaiting your commands, Master. The other creature reaches a long, scaly arm and exposes sharp, menacing talons. Chickens have talons, by the way. The creature gurgles. Hail to the glorious evil Power Master. You reach up and grab his wrist, twisting the scaly arm with all your strength. Slowly you bear down and the creature screams in pain. But the other creature has scuttled over to Tara and holds her in her firm grip with his talons at Tara's throat. The creature speaks. Give up or I'll kill her. If you surrender, which is a terrible decision, turn to page 7. And if you refuse to surrender, 82. Well, you know what? It's actually pretty good. I don't really know where to go. So let me mark this down since I'm the one marking it down. I'm on page 50, and I can go to 7 or 82. Coin flip. You know what? Let's do the bad decision first. I feel like surrendering is just a very bad idea. But let's try it. We surrender, okay? There's a picture of the head of the evil Power Master. It looks like he's laughing. And then all of us smaller looking at this giant head. I don't know. It's not floating. It looks like it's just laying on the floor. Anyway, we say, okay, you've got us. Don't hurt her. You relinquish your creature and walk toward the other one, trying desperately to come up with a plan to save Tara and yourself and the Lycunian system. There is a slight movement behind the creature. Suddenly you realize it's Flipto sneaking up. Laser blaster ready. Flipto fires. The creature drops to the floor. Flipto fires again. The second creature falls. Flipto, how did you get here? You shout. Simple, Earthling. I know your hunches well. I don't know what Flipto sounds like. I've forgotten. And I also know that you usually need help. Oh, he's going British now. So here I am. At the moment, there's a rumbling sound and a shaking floor. The building is falling apart. Then a metallic voice pierces the air. Fools! You will never defeat me! These are the last words you'll ever hear. The end. Wait, what? So the building's falling apart. Fools, you'll never defeat me. Well, we just defeated the two goons. Flipto was right there. And we died? The end. Flipto, I thought we were going to win because Flipto had destroyed the guards, but okay. So, never mind. Duty. I'm going to 80 Tootie. Now we're not going to surrender. Never! I'll never surrender. You'll kill us both anyway. No, actually, Flipto will. You give this one scaly arm one final twist and push the wounded creature away from you, adding a well-placed kick as a final insult. Yeah, because nothing says a final insult than a well-placed kick, let me tell you. Then you drop into a crouch and begin to advance to the creature that holds Terra. Terra has come prepared. While the creature is watching you, she slowly and stealthily withdraws her slender, flexible stiletto from her belt around her waist. With a sudden jabbing move, she sinks the stiletto into the thigh of the creature. You leap upon him, wrestle him to the ground, and deliver a paralyzing blow to the base of his skull. Meanwhile, you wonder where Flipto is. Anyway, well done, Terra. I'm glad you were with me, you say, catching your breath. Not so bad yourself, she responds, grinning. You take prisoners back to the base for interrogation. A small dose of truth serum is enough that they indulge the name and the location of the main base of the evil Power Master. You send an attack force to the small planet nearby. The force successfully destroys the evil Power Master's base, but not without a fight. Half of your forces are lost in the battle, but for now at least, the Lacunian system is safe. Wait, at the end. That's another the end. Wait, we destroyed his base, so we're safe for now. It's like a quasi-ending. I don't think Benjamin was missing much here. Okay, so there we go. I went through 3 fast the ends. And we're at, 7 minutes now? Holy smokes. I may not make it. Maybe we should have added just 5 more minutes to our last podcast. I was wondering how many more. But since the last one kind of went over, I was like, no, these may take a minute. Okay, so the last choice we ever made on our second run, and I think this is what decided the game for us, was on page 78. One of the choices was if you decide to inform Congress and get back with members to order a full-scale attack, and that's when we just bombarded and just blew them all away, which was a wise decision. That was page 89. But what I wanted to do, that we never got to do, was on page 120, was say if we decide to launch an attack immediately, we turn to page 120. If this isn't the end, I'm going to kill myself. Okay, it's not, at least yet. It says, there's no time to waste. Good old Flipto, you think. He's always on top of things. What a Martian. What a Martian, man. All right, the dash to the hangars is difficult because the anxious crouch, but finally you make it. Your ship is ready for immediate use. Check it. Check accelerator levels, Flipto. Check. Energizer levels. Check. Oh, that's Flipto, by the way, saying check. Gyro stabilizers. Check. Let's go. Why can't he say engage? Oh, because this is based off of Star Wars, not Star Trek. Anyway, next page. You and Flipto zoom into space. There has been no time to alert the others. Your hands are full with the mission before you. Soon, you break through the protecting radiation belt. Then, your ship is showered with small meteorites and space debris. A fair-sized meteorite hits you and the ship rocks. But all systems register normal after Flipto manipulates the auto-repair cycles. I'm glad they have auto-repair. Coming up on the satellite, Commander. Right, Flipto. Watch their deltas. They are fast. No problem for an old Martian like me, Commander. Wait, he's an old Martian? This is the first time we've heard about his age. I've always imagined him as middle age or maybe our age or like younger. But he's an old Martian. All right, anyway. 3 waves of deltas hit you, but each time Flipto beats them off with devastating array of shots. Finally, you are zeroed in on the base of the evil Power Master. Yield or we'll fire, you commander of the communication system. The satellite bristles with an array of antennas. They must be part of the laser cannon positioning devices that pinpoints the planets for destruction. Never! I'll never yield, fool! Likes to call me a fool a lot. I pity the fool. You don't hesitate. One massive blast of your laser eradicates the evil Power Master's base. The light from the explosion illuminates the heavens, and the cry penetrates the universe. Fool, you'll be sorry! The end. Holy cow. 10 minutes. Could have done it. That was it. That was all the choices in it. That was actually pretty good. But as he's dying, he threatens us? I don't know, man. So, Benjamin and I were going to give our final thoughts. I know what we were thinking because we did break the rule and we kind of talked a little bit about it the last time we were here. And we both enjoyed this one. I won't speak too much for Benjamin. If he wants to speak next time we come back on the air, he can talk about it a little bit. I don't know why this is a board game. I think that's pretty funny. I kind of want to play it, to be honest, even though we know all the choices. This is very weird. We had two different ventures. That whole thing about a boat and the pirates and whatnot, that was totally different from calling Congress, going with terror, taking the fight to him, finding out about our cousin or whatever. And there's like three vastly different adventures you're going on. And it's got some satisfying endings, like blowing him away was great. And mainly they're blowing them away, because this one was blowing him away too. The first one that we ever did was the one where we captured him. And we captured him. And that was really good, because I thought that's how it ended. But no, you can blow him away. So those last two, I kind of like. The one we just did now, and the one that we did the second time where it just blew him away. So it didn't matter. Here I get mad when it says, when we had two choices, and both of them end up in death. Like, there's no way that you could win. Okay, I hate that. Because it didn't matter what your choices were. Here, it doesn't matter what your choices were on this last one, because you won either way. You did with the Congress, you blew him away. By yourself, you blew him away. So even though they're both wins, what was the point of a choice? To me, a choice should set you on a different path where you have to make more choices to win, or the path should be win one, lose the other. I think it's pretty clear cut that way. Now, R.A. Montgomery has written several of them. Supposedly this is an original author, and he or she has a daughter, I believe, who has continued the process of these, because I saw one at the library. It looks very kiddie and everything. I didn't get it. But it's done by her, I guess in the form of a new Choose Your Own Adventure, but it seems like it's very light. My memories with Choose Your Own Adventure. Overall, I think this book is really good. I think it was a lot of fun. That's why we kept going through it, because we kept laughing. We had a really great time. And if you made it through all the podcasts, congratulations, you did good too. I thought there'd be a lot more for me to read here, because we had several more choices open, and wow, like I said, 10 minutes. Probably would have been 12 or 15 with Benjamin. Either way, the first one we did, folks, if you didn't see Choose Your Own Samoflange, the first round was really good. You had to pick from these three boxes: past, present, and future. Future really sucked. That storyline sucked. Every option of it sucked. But past and present, where we got the Griffin in the present, and the past we were fighting caveman and stuff like that was just awesome stuff. This one was pretty good all the way through with each variation. It did have some to be continued endings, or, not win or lose endings, which was really weird. So I'm not really sure now that I may be talking myself out of it. Between this one and the first one are my favorites. There was a lot of funny stuff with the Griffin, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. This one had some good stuff too, but I like ones like this. The second one we did wasn't the best. It wasn't the best one. We thought it would be, because it's a 50th book celebrating 50 books or whatever, and we thought it was going to be great. We thought it was a great pick. It was a little weaker. I don't know if we'll do this again. I'd have to find a really fun one to do this again. I do think they are fun. Choose Your Own Adventure. As a kid, I don't think I ever mentioned this, or if I did in the first one, we didn't make time for it. As a kid, Choose Your Own Adventures were my type of book. I really enjoyed them. We rented a ton of them from our library. Mom and Dad would buy us some every once in a while. I wanted to collect them all. I loved you had different adventures. Of course, like when Benjamin and I made our first run, which is the most epic thing, to go the whole way without dying. That has never happened to me. I always wished it was as a kid. In fact, I would keep making choices until, if I saw the end very shortly, I'd back up. Real quick. I cheated, I'd peek ahead. But I wanted a good ending. And there's another one, like I said, there's another one at the house that we didn't. Well, there's two at my parents' house, from my old collection I didn't bring. One was You're a Spy for George Washington, which may be good. I don't know. But the other one was had a volcano and a ghost on it. And I somewhat remember that one because I was like, okay, when I first opened that one up, I said, I am not going to die on this one. The very first choice, I died. It was like the worst run ever. But these are really fun. I do realize they're making these into board games. Oh, you know what? That's one thing, since I do love me some board games. I wonder which Choose Your Own Adventure has board games. I was shocked when this one had a board game. There you go, Choose Your Own Adventure games. Let's look at this. What is this? House of Danger. Never read that one. Maybe we should choose that one. Yeah, the House of Danger seems to be one. And the Evil Power Master. Is that it? Those are video games. Wait, great Choose Your Own Adventure video games? No way. Wow. That's kind of crazy. So only two? And this was one of them. I'm kind of looking it up, but yeah, it looks to be it. Yeah, the House of Danger. And then this one, the Evil Power Master. Wow. Wow, but House of Danger is all over the place here. Wow, I did not realize they made two. Never played the games. I don't know if I would. Maybe eventually, maybe one of us will buy it and everything. I don't know. But Choose Your Own Adventure. They do have, I know Star Wars fans are going to love this. Star Wars had Choose Your Own Destiny. I never played those, for obvious reasons. I think Clone Wars had a few. Maybe the prequels had a few. I can't remember, but I know they were a big deal. And Choose Your Own Adventures, there were other renditions of it, and I'm sure they still have somewhat of there. And I guess I don't know, man. Reading for kids, is this still a big thing? It's still a big... Do y'all remember when the Pizza Hut used to have their little reading club? And used to get, if you read X amount of books over the summer, now I'm really old, so they probably don't have this anymore, but people who are 40 and over, you probably remember this. Pizza Hut had this thing that if the kids read, I think it was 5 books, I don't know, over the summer, your parents stamped it, and you got a free personal pan pizza. So 4 mini slices of pizza that were all yours, cheese or pepperoni, your choice, because they were cheap, but you got your own free personal pan pizza. Man, I did read. It was, you were on the honor system, I guess, but I did read, got my card stamped. Maybe you went to Pizza Hut and got your card stamped. I can't remember, but ordered my pepperoni pizza. I remember vividly this moment, by the way, almost every time I got one. My mom would take me. It was a big event. I could not wait to get my own personal pan pizza. Mom probably had to pay for the drink, but she was all right with that. And that pizza tasted awesome. You know, I haven't had it. That was probably the last time I've ever had a personal pan pizza before in my life. But man, oh man, it was special to me. It was like a deep dish crust and whatever. But even though back as a kid I didn't eat the crust, man, I made sure to eat everything of that pizza because that pizza was free and it was all mine. I earned that pizza, baby. I earned it. I don't think that, now I could be wrong. Maybe Pizza Hut still does this. I don't even know. Maybe I should be Googling. This is why you need 2 people here. So one person can Google while the other one talks. Pizza Hut Reading Program. Holy cow, I think it's still around. Yeah, book it. Look at that. The Pizza Hut Book It program. Book It. Wow. That's what it was. It was Book It. Oh, look, they even have books you can read, too. Wow. How much fun is that? Do you still get a pizza pan pizza? Hold on, let's see. Book at school, book at community, book at homeschool. I was homeschooled as a kid, so that's probably how they had it. It's from October to March. Oh, it's almost going on. Enroll, read, track, reward. Child meets the goal. Move the slider all the way to receive their certificate of personal pan pizza of your... Shut up. My kids are going into the Book It. Definitely, when they get old enough. Man, March, I could probably knock down a few books. That's really neat. Of course, it's all online now. Yeah, the Book It program. Hey, I'm not kidding. Get your kids into the Book It program. Actually, do you know what actually got me into reading, folks? Wasn't Star Wars books. It was these little young adult history books, like The Life and Times of. that were for young adults, for children, at the library. I don't remember what they called. They were just hardback books of different colors, light blue, light green, dark green, red, light red, and then repeat those colors. Maybe yellow was in there too. Maybe an orange book was in there. But they were both just generic, and on the spine, it would say what it was. Maybe it was about George Washington, Lewis and Clark, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, all these people. And that's what got me to read. I read, and of course, that's why I'm a history major, I guess, today. But it would talk about their from youth all the way to their death. And I was so sad when they died that I'd just go back and I'd start back. I'd read the first chapter again when they were born, because I wanted like a little happy ending, I guess. But I remember I always did that. And the first thing we did when I got to my library when we moved was I was look for those books, because our library in Forest, Mississippi, which is where I'm from, was very tiny and didn't have that many. Well, I had a few, but I'd read them all. And when we moved here, this was a bigger library, and it did have a handful, not many, like 3 or 4 extra ones I'd never read. I remember the first one was Lewis and Clark. I can't remember the other ones, but I was like, oh my gosh, Lewis and Clark, which is what no 12-year-old said ever, when they were little. Like, oh boy, I'm so excited to get to read about Lewis and Clark. But I was, man. I love those little books. I need to see if they're still around. They probably still are, because the library doesn't throw anything away. But those were the books that got me into reading. That was the book that got me. I was just so excited. And, of course, I read The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and Chronicles of Narnia. Chronicles of Narnia I read a lot as a kid. I don't read a lot as an adult now. I go to Narnia every 7 to 10 years, probably. Like, I'm waiting for my kids to get a little bit older. Then we'll go through. My next trip will be through Narnia with them. I don't know. I read Narnia not too long ago. Maybe it's right before the girls were born, probably. So probably about 4 or 5 years ago, my first twins. I'd read through Narnia again. And so I'm good for another 3 years. And when they get old enough, I'll be reading them Chronicles of Narnia. I can't wait to read them Lord of the Rings. I'll read Hobbit first. Will I read them Silmarillion and History of Middle-earth? No. If they're really nerdy, they can read it themselves. You can't really read Silmarillion like story time, And to be fair, I've only read it like 3 or 4 times myself. I can't remember if this past time was my 3rd or 4th time to read it. But I haven't read Silmarillion anywhere as much as I've read Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, which are uncountable. I don't even know. Is it 10? Is it 15? I don't know. It's a lot. So I usually take a stroll through Narnia every couple of years, and I did, what was it, during the pandemic I did it, and then 2020 I read it. 2020 and 2021 I read History of Middle-earth, Silmarillion again, read a few of the other stuff. And, I'm pretty good right now. I mean, the only thing, maybe the Tales of Tom Bombadil, it may be time to read through that. That's like it's in a short collection of Tolkien stories. I did think I read that too. I read a few little tidbits of Middle-earth in early 2022. So even though that wasn't Lord of the Rings, and I'm always down for another go through Middle-earth for Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, I can hold off the beast for another few years, especially now that I'm doing my Star Wars reread, which I really am enjoying. I'll talk a little bit about that off the cuff. Since we're talking about, we'll make this more about books than the final run. Final run was only 1/3 of the podcast here, but my rereads are going really well. People are like, man, how do you read so much? Well, dude, it's interesting. First off, I mean, if it was boring and slow, which some of them have been, that's what hurts me. But I've been able to power through it because there's been a lot of great stories in here, and I've been having so much fun rereading them. And I'm forgetting small details. I'm missing certain connections, especially West End games. Through the Bantam era, there are so many West End games references that I failed to notice it. Like characters mentioned, creatures mentioned, sometimes vehicles mentioned, and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow. And that makes sense now because George Lucas gave them, made sure West End Games sent them a bunch of supplemental material to utilize. And some of the authors did. And so West End Games fans were probably having a field day reading Bantam going, oh my gosh, there's the planet, or there's, Kraken's Commandos or whatnot, Page's Commandos or whatever. Yay, And so a lot of these characters and creatures and planets and stuff were being mentioned there, and I didn't know. So I'm missing that. I'm also, when I'm reading a trilogy, I've said this before, I get mixed up about what happened in which book. That's why in my original reviews, I did a trilogy as a whole because I could remember it. But if you ask me what happened when, like some of these books I've been way off. But other ones I've enjoyed it. I find silly things with them too, that I'm like, oh man, that's kind of stupid and lame. Certain things I enjoyed, I don't enjoy the second time. Things I didn't enjoy the first time through, I'm enjoying a little bit more. And then that's not to say that what's excellent is bad now, but what excellent sometimes remains excellent, and what's bad a lot of times remains bad. I did mention that I will be doing, I don't know if I'll change. Right now, I don't know if I change anything in my top 10, it may be certain books going up. But I've been pretty dead right on a lot of the books on my top 10 right now. They've been great. There's a few that may fight for that top 10 spot now, but my top 10 worst, I know I need to apologize to several other books, because over time, I guess I just wiped my mind clean, or maybe I had a low bar back when I was reading prequel books, because holy cow, if anything from prequels and Old Republic doesn't make it on, I mean, if a single Bantam book makes it, even I, Jedi may be off the hook. I mean, I'm not going to forgive it totally, but even I, Jedi could be off the hook after a while, because I just don't know, man. I did not realize some of these other books were just so horrible. So I'm definitely going to do a new top 10 after that. And then everyone asks what's next. Well, let me tell you something. First off, my wife telling me that she was pregnant, and then it being twins. Reread was not supposed to happen for at least a couple of years. What was supposed to happen next was the girls were getting old enough to where my wife wouldn't have to worry about their dressing themselves. Soon they use the restroom potty by themselves. So they're usually self-sustainable now. You wouldn't have to spoon feed them anymore. And so I thought, okay, I can start doing interviews with authors. I did have some lined up. That went down the tube. We still went for it, but then something else came up that I don't want to reveal right now, but something else came up in my life that is just throwing me off on my time now, so I really couldn't do it. So I stuck with the rereads. But originally, it was supposed to be interviewing authors, which got delayed, and then got permanently delayed for right now until some things get worked out. And then, but other things I wanted to do before then, and probably what I should have done was do the reviews of watching all the Clone Wars, the TV episodes one by one. I didn't want to do that because, I don't know, I have to watch Dave Filoni's Clone Wars again. Not that I hated them all. I mean, it's probably something good for me to rewatch again. And the Ewoks cartoons and Droid cartoons, I probably will. But if I give it just another year or so, my girls will be old enough to where they're old enough right now to watch some of this stuff, but I don't think they'll be that invested in it. Maybe Ewoks and Droids they would, but definitely not none of the Clone Wars stuff they'd even care about. So maybe I'm waiting for them to maybe latch on and watch some Ewoks and Droids with me at least, because I think they'd enjoy that. But I even do the Ewok movies too, I think. And the Christmas special, watch that again. Ugh. Or maybe just do a watch through where you just, hear my soundtrack as you hit play and watch the holiday special together. That may be one that we may do. But I'll do a lot of watches. One that I really want to do, and I just don't know why. I had my heart set on the interviews and just kind of forgot. And I love reading, and I've reread everything off my shelf during the pandemic, and the only thing left is my Star Wars shelves. I said, why not? Let's do this. Because I had plenty of time to read, and I love reading. But probably should have gone with a deep dive into the RPG. I did a quick RPG overview a long, long time ago, and everyone's been wanting me to do something more in depth. I have been wanting to reread these two. I've never reread, except for Darkstrider Campaign, I have never reread any of these more than once. I read through them all when I got them, and that was been it. I would like to do a deep dive and kind of talk about each one. That's something that I'd love to do. Probably do the videos first of the cartoons and TV shows and TV movies first. Maybe do that one first because, yeah, it's something that I know a lot of people want to see, and it's a little different change of pace, and then get into the RPG. Interviewing authors and everything, that's just going to have to be put on hold. It is way too busy with 4 kids, 3 and under right now as of this podcast. They're all super young right now. It's a big headache for my wife to watch all by themselves. Sure, I can do it maybe at night, do the interviews, but that's going to be really hard because that's when I do house cleaning. The only time I do house cleaning and getting prepped for the next day. I mean, it's just one thing after the next, so it's so busy. But that's kind of what I want to do on the show Star Wars wise. Well, I didn't know I was going to be doing a channel update on Saturday Morning Samoflange, but like I said, I thought there'd be way more choices we had left. I had no idea. there were just like 4 dead ends, and that was it. But anyway, now I can return this. I think I'm good on Choose Your Own Samoflange. Folks, this has been a lot of fun for myself. I hope it was half as fun for you. We do have a lot of great topics that we're going to be addressing here. Mikey's going to come back on. May bring a few other people back on. My brother was interested about coming back on. I haven't had him on since like our Mario Kart discussion, I think. But anyway, lots of fun stuff ahead. So have a happy Saturday, and I'll see you next time on, I get to do it all by myself now, Saturday morning Samoflange. Feels good.